In the annals of history, the notion of forbidden fruit has transcended mere food, evolving into a symbol of irresistible allure concealed by the shadows of prohibition. This mysterious concept finds its origins in the biblical narrative of Adam and Eve, humanity's first transgressors, who succumbed to the temptation of an enigmatic fruit. Yet the true nature of this tantalizing fruit has eluded us, obscured by speculation and folklore. Can we find out what it was? Genesis 3 unfolds a pivotal moment in the annals of human history, a moment when the serpentine allure of deception slithered into the idyllic Garden of Eden. Satan, a cunning adversary in the form of a serpent, played the role of the master manipulator, orchestrating the fall of humanity. He ensnared Eve, the first woman, in a web of doubt and desire, prompting her to question the very commandment of God. At the heart of this temptation lay the crafty challenge to Eve's understanding of God's words. The serpent, a mere creature, dared to question the Creator's decree, sowing the seeds of doubt. Eve stood at the precipice of a profound choice, to trust in God's wisdom or to rely on her nascent judgment. The forbidden fruit, a tantalizing enigma, hung before her like forbidden knowledge, ripe for the plucking. In her moment of vulnerability, Eve yielded to the serpent's cunning persuasion. She reached out and tasted the fruit, and in doing so, forever altered the course of human history. Her decision had far-reaching consequences, as she extended the fruit to Adam, her partner in both life and sin. With a fateful bite, he too partook of the forbidden bounty. In that instant, a perfect world marred by the stain of sin, death, and suffering was born. For millennia, the identity of the forbidden fruit has intrigued and confounded scholars, theologians, and curious minds alike. Was it, as popular belief often suggests, an apple that beckoned Eve to sin? The answer, shrouded in the mists of time, remains an enduring mystery. The Bible's account does not explicitly reveal the fruit's true identity, leaving us to contemplate its nature. For one reason or another, many people assume sex was the forbidden fruit, and having sex was Adam and Eve's original sin. Many theologians take the fruit from the Garden of Eden as symbolic, but how likely is it that it refers to sex? The clear answer is, it certainly does not refer to sex. There are several reasons why we can be sure of this. God created Adam and Eve with sexual and reproductive organs from the beginning, indicating that sex was part of His plan for their relationship. God even explicitly commanded Adam and Eve to be fruitful and multiply, which implies that He intended for them to engage in sexual relations. God would not command something sinful. And Adam, upon seeing Eve, established God's standard for marriage and sexuality, emphasizing the union of one man and one woman in intimacy. Adam and Eve were naked before they sinned, and it is strongly implied that they were engaging in sexual relations in the garden before the fall. This suggests that sex was not the original sin, as God's command for sex and their practice of it predates the fall. So while it is true Adam and Eve became aware of their nakedness and tried to cover themselves after sinning, this does not mean that sex was the forbidden fruit. Many other Bible scholars take the fruit literally. So which fruit was meant? In the original Hebrew text, the word used for fruit in this passage is piri. The term piri is a generic term that encompasses a wide variety of fruits and produce. It essentially means fruit or produce in a general sense. This linguistic flexibility allows for a range of interpretations regarding the specific identity of the forbidden fruit. As mentioned, piri could represent any fruit, and throughout history, Jewish commentators have proposed various possibilities. Some of these interpretations include a fig, a pomegranate, a grape, an apricot, a citron, and even wheat. Additionally, some commentators suggested that the forbidden fruit might have been seen metaphorically as a kind of wine, with its consumption leading to intoxication. In essence, the Hebrew term piri deliberately leaves room for ambiguity, allowing for diverse interpretations and speculation about the precise nature of the forbidden fruit. This linguistic flexibility has contributed to the enduring mystery surrounding this aspect of the Garden of Eden story. So how did we end up with the idea of an apple? So much so, that even the bulge in men's necks are known as Adam's apples, as if the fruit of the first sin is still sticking in their throats. The association of the apple with the forbidden fruit in popular culture has its roots in a clever linguistic twist by the theologian Jerome during the translation of the Bible into Latin. Jerome, known for his temper but also his wit, was translating the phrase tree of the knowledge of good and evil when he introduced the word malus. In Latin, malus had two meanings. As an adjective, it meant bad or evil, while as a noun, it referred to the common apple. This linguistic play allowed for a pun, creating an intriguing connection between evil and apple. Complicating things, during Jerome's time and for a long period afterward, malus could be used to describe any fleshy seed-bearing fruit, including pears, figs, and peaches, not just the apple as we know it today. The apple's prominence in depictions of the fall of Adam and Eve in European art was solidified by Albrecht Dürer's famous 1504 engraving, which portrayed the first couple beside an apple tree. This influential artwork set the template for future artists like Lucas Cranach the Elder, who featured apples in his paintings. Even John Milton, a renowned intellectual, chose to use the term apple in his epic poem Paradise Lost. Milton was well versed in multiple languages, including Latin, Greek, and Hebrew. His use of apple in the poem was intentionally ambiguous, encompassing various meanings, including the idea of an innocently named object with multiple connotations. It could refer to any seed-bearing fruit, not just the apple. Over time, as Paradise Lost gained readership, the word apple became more closely associated with the forbidden fruit, and slowly the broader meaning of apple was lost. Thus, the common apple became entrenched in popular culture as the symbol of the fruit that led to humanity's fall from grace, thanks to clever linguistic choices, artistic depictions, and influential literary works. In the vast and intricate narrative of human history, the identity of the fruit that played a central role in the events of Genesis 3 continues to elude us, shrouded in a veil of enigmatic mystery. It is a riddle that has persisted through the ages, leaving us with more questions than answers. Perhaps, in the grand design of things, this particular fruit was destined to remain forever beyond our grasp. One plausible explanation for the fruit's mysterious absence lies in the response of the Almighty to the disobedience of humanity. In much the same way that the tree of life was later removed from the earthly realm, it is conceivable that the tree bearing this fruit met a similar fate. In the wake of humanity's fall from grace, a fall triggered by the consumption of the forbidden fruit, the Lord might have deemed it necessary to withdraw this source of temptation, a symbol of defiance against his divine command. The Garden of Eden, once a paradise and a haven, has long since faded from the tangible world, existing now only in the annals of human memory and religious texts. Its lush beauty, pristine purity, and the serene communion between the Creator and His creation are but distant echoes of a bygone era. The very essence of Eden, which encapsulated a perfect state of existence, is irretrievably lost to humanity until the advent of the new heaven and the new earth. Therefore it is only reasonable to surmise that the fruit, which played a pivotal role Eden losing its perfection, no longer graces our world. The removal of this symbol of temptation and disobedience from the earthly realm aligns with the broader narrative of humanity's spiritual journey. It reinforces the notion that some elements of the divine and the sacred are destined to remain beyond the reach of mortal hands. But this is speculation. It is not impossible that the fruit of Eden was a common fruit still around today. For the significance of the fruit was not in the fruit itself, but in the command of God tied to one particular tree, forbidding Adam and Eve to eat from it. In the end, the elusive nature of the fruit from Genesis 3 serves as a poignant reminder of the consequences of human choice, the complexities of divine intervention, and the enduring allure of the forbidden. It is a symbol that has transcended time and culture, forever etched in the collective consciousness as a cautionary tale of the eternal struggle between obedience and temptation. But the good news of the Bible is that God has not given up on the earth after Adam and Eve's eating of the fruit. He has provided a way to receive forgiveness of sins through His Son Jesus Christ.